evening. Good evening. Hope we are doing fine. Someone to let me know if I'm audible before we start. Am I audible enough? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Okay, just a minute. We'll start very soon. Just a minute. Trying to arrange something here. All right. So, good evening, excellent biology students. Hope you are doing fine, and I hope you had a wonderful day. For me, I had a very terrible one, hectic day, but such is life. So, in today's live class, I want us to revise this question. I hope it's clear on your end. Hope we can all see what is on the screen. So this question is coming from a past paper, and I want us to go through it together. Okay. So just let me know if I'm audible and if everything is clear on your end. Okay. Yeah. So is everything clear? Can you clearly see this question? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so figure 1 shows a palisade cell observed under a light microscope. Figure 1 shows a palisade cell observed under a light microscope. That's a palisade cell that we have. Question A, identify the part labeled A, B, and C in figure 1. I want to see if we can still remember what is A, what is B, and what is C in this figure. What is A, what is B, and what is C in this figure? Okay, we've got an answer. A, cell wall. Okay, A is the cell wall. What of B? What is B? B is the vacuole. Okay, A is the cell wall, B vacuole, and then C. For those that cannot see clearly, C is pointing at the circle which is inside the cell. C is pointing at a circle which is inside the cell. For those that can see clearly. C is pointing at a circle which is inside the cell. So what is C? Okay, so A, cell wall, B, vacuole, and then C, chloroplast. Excellent. So we've identified the three organelles. Okay, so remember, a cell is made up of organelles. Organelles will come together performing different functions to form up a cell. And looking at what we have in this figure, A is the cell wall, B is the vacuole, and C is the chloroplast. Those are the three organelles that are labeled. Okay. And then on the other hand, we can see that we've got the cell membrane, we've got the nucleus, and we've got the cytoplasm. Okay. So this is the external structure of a palisade cell, also known as an animal cell. Then question B, explain the functions of the part labeled A in figure 1. We identified A to be cell wall. So what is the function of the cell wall? 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 So we've got an answer. Cell wall controls what goes in and out of the cell. Try again. We've got another one to protect the cell from mechanical damage. Okay. What are others saying? It protects the cell against damage. Okay. What are others saying? What is the function of the cell wall? Function of the cell wall. Yes. It gives shape to the cell. Okay. What do others say? What is the function of the cell wall? What is the function of the cell wall? It protects the cell against damage and prevention of bursting when the plant cell gains a lot of water. Okay, that is also correct. So the function of the cell wall basically is that it protects the cell. Okay, that's the main function. It protects the cell against physical damage. And one thing that you need to take note of is that a cell wall is transparent. It is permeable. Okay, it is not selectively permeable, but it is permeable, meaning substances to pass through it. Okay, it allows substances to pass through it. All kinds of substances, they can pass through the cell wall because it is not selectively permeable. It is just permeable. Anything can pass through it. Otherwise, the main function of the cell wall, which is part A, is that it protects the cell against physical damage. Those are the answers. That's the answer for question B. Then question C. Give two differences between the cell in figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. Give two differences between the cell in figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. Give two differences between the cell in figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. Yes. So what are the differences between this cell and the one found in the human trachea? In other words, what are the differences between an animal cell and a plant cell? That's what they are basically asking you here. What are the two differences between the cell, which is in figure 1, and the one found in the trachea? What are the differences between an animal cell and a plant cell? Two differences between an animal cell and a plant cell. What are the two differences between an animal cell and a plant cell? Okay, so we've got an answer. A plant cell has cytoplasm, while an animal cell has no cytoplasm. Try again, Charles. Try again. Palisade cell has chloroplast, while animal cell does not have. That is correct. That is correct. Plant cell has chloroplast, while an animal cell has no chloroplast. That is also correct. Animal cell has no cell wall, while plant cell has no cell wall. I think you meant animal cell has got no cell wall, while plant cell has the cell wall. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? A plant cell, the difference is that the plant cell has a cellulose, while a cellulose cell wall, while animal cell does not have cellulose. Okay, that is also correct. Plant cell has cell wall, while animal cell has no cell wall. Okay. Plant cell has a fixed shape, while an animal cell has no fixed shape. Those answers are correct. So when you look at the cell of the trachea, it's basically an animal cell. So they are asking you the difference between this cell, which is a palisade cell, also known as a plant cell, and an animal cell. And the difference is that one, because we have to state two. So the first one you can say, an animal cell doesn't have chloroplast, while a plant cell has chloroplast. Then the other difference is that an animal cell does not have the cell wall, while a plant cell has the cell wall. Now, when it comes to differences, ensure that you put a while. Okay, there must be while. Okay, whenever you're stating the difference. If you're not going to put that while, then you're not comparing the two. So as long as you're writing the difference of something, you must put while. So this is like this while this is like that, because you're comparing. Okay, and in this case we're comparing between this cell, which is a palisade cell, and an animal cell. Okay, so put a while in your differences. Yeah. Then question D, state the names of any other two organelles that would be seen if the cell in figure 1 was observed under an electron microscope. So the figure that you're looking at right now, this is the external structure of it. But if we were to put an electron microscope, if we were to observe it under an electron microscope, what are the features that we're going to see? In other words, what will be the detailed structure? What are the detailed organelles that we are going to see if this cell is observed under an electron microscope? That's the question. Yeah. Okay. Charles, ribosomes and mitochondria. Evans, mitochondria and ribosomes. The others, what are you saying? Mitochondria, Golgi bodies. Okay. Rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Ribosomes and mitochondrion. Okay. We would see Golgi apparatus, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Yes. So basically here you just mention the organelles that wouldn't be seen in the external structure, but those that are going to be seen in the detailed structure. In other words, they are simply asking you to find the organelles, or to state the organelles that are found in the detailed structure of a cell. So those are the answers to this question, my excellent students. Those are the answers to this question. Unless there are questions, it's also something that I would like to share with you. Answer for D. Okay, answer for D. So answer for D, we're going to see the mitochondria. Okay, that's the first organelle that we can see if this figure is observed under an electron microscope. And we're also going to see ribosomes. Okay, not only that, we're also going to see the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Not only that, but we can also see the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So basically, you just state the organelles that you can see in the detailed structure of this cell. Yeah. So those are the answers for question D. All right, excellent students. So this coming week, we're looking at genetics, which is an important topic. It will be part 1. So we'll look at genetics part 1, and we'll focus on cross diagrams. And then tomorrow, we're going to have our test. And this test will cover reproduction in animals and reproduction in flowering plants. So ensure that you prepare yourselves for tomorrow's test. It will be written tomorrow at 20 hours. 20 hours. So let's ensure that we prepare ourselves for tomorrow's test. Then this coming week, our focus will now shift to genetics, which is going to be genetics part 1. Yeah. But for tonight, we can end here for this live class. And yeah, more updates will come through in the group. Otherwise, for now, I can end here. All right. You have a good night, my excellent students.